And we are live from the Anthill. Coach Chris here with you. Got some esports action coming your way. Marvel Rivals on stream tonight. And we will be doing our playoffs tonight. Not the whole playoffs, but round number 1. And we are going up against I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Kutztown University. Fire Ant's going up against them. Fire Ant's number 1 seed, I think, in this bracket. Gonna give it our best chance to pull out the victory here. But going through our pick bands now, we may have a guest appearance from Izzy on stream to broadcast with us, but not 100% sure. But for now, Fire Ant's doing their pick bands here as we go into this matchup. First point gonna be first map's gonna be capping the point. Everybody going to try to get 100%. Gonna be 2 rounds of that, or 3 rounds of that, depending on what's needed. Map 2 will be hybrid with map 3. No, map 3's hybrid, I think. But looks like, sorry, I am a little bit under the weather. I'm going to try not to clear my throat like I just did as much. I'll try to mute if I do have to, but I may be a little less talkative today. I was going to let Izzy do all the talking if she makes it. But either way, looks like we've got our pick bands in. Fire Ants going with the Moon Knight band, the Gambit save, the save on Invisible Woman, the Spider-Man band, and also the Cloak and Dagger. On the other side, you've got the Black Panther band, the Loki band, and the Hulk band. So far, this is what you see for the Fire Ants. And again, anybody watching, we appreciate you being here. Follow, like, subscribe, all that stuff if you're willing. And definitely let me know if anything's wrong with the stream, and I'll try to make it work on my end.
Sorry, I'm late, guys. Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Hey.
I had a little bit of an issue with traffic getting home, but made this done.
Not a problem. You did make it just in time. We are walking into the first map, and we'll see how it plays out. I will try to get some information on the records of the other team, but Fire Ants are kind of a number 1 seed in this bracket. There's a lot of different brackets, but the bracket that we were able to play in, this is what we see. But going to be a little brawly. Ume going down, and a support going down for Kutztown.
And Poppy and Leapbox seem to be getting some good picks here, though. Looks like they're winning overall in this team fight.
It does. So the first tick should go to the Fire Ants. Let's see how much percentage they can hold here.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on like first map domination, it's really important to get in there, make sure you get that percentage up. Especially because they handled this first team fight really, really well, very quickly here. It'll be kind of hard to push in now that they're very well established on point. Kutztown doesn't seem to be pushing in just yet. Can't really find the picks on Sumter that they need to be able to push in.
And this could be a big pick.
The Strange goes down here.
Huge. Without that tank on the front line, but Impoppy does, or sorry, Ume goes down, not Impoppy. Captain actually being able to play Captain America right now, so you know that's his favorite.
Yeah, for sure. It's really good to see him back on, sort of the push he's more comfortable in rather than the crazy sort of things he's been playing this season.
Yeah. They've all been playing some crazy stuff, but I expect these matchups in the playoffs. This is the playoffs. I expect the matchups in the playoffs here for PCL to be much more tight than maybe something they're used to. Although they've had some tight matches this season, but pretty big stalemate right now on the point. Although Sumter's still holding the majority of cap, so getting the ticks.
See, they just picked down Strange.
Yeah,
and
that was huge
just
there.
get it.
I'll be shipshape in no time.
They seem to be holding point really well. Not too much to say. They're playing very together. I'd like to see Kutztown sort of go in a little bit more here and maybe try to push some of the DPS that are really sort of getting those picks on them. So Umair and Poppy, maybe pushing them, would help them get on point here a little bit. But Sumter's in the lead.
Yeah, and
Captain's
it
really
seemed like
making
they
sure to
just
keep
kind of
them controlled.
brawled with them on point versus really trying to like get picks or anything. Just back to back. Ultimates coming out for the first time here. Taking two. Yeah, that was a big ult. Let's see how this plays out. They're burning a lot of ultimates. Fire Ant's probably going to get pushed off here, but they had to push the Fire Ants off, although Poppy's trying to do his best.
Looks like Sumter does get pushed off a point here, but they have the ult lead, and honestly, it was a pretty good fight going down for Sumter.
Yeah, it was one of those things where Kutztown said they had to use everything because it was at 99%, and they did pretty much burn through like 4 ultimates there, I think. So
It's going to be really hard to recover from this heading into this last part of the round. Gambit ult to push in.
Yeah, it comes out quickly. Fire Ants just have to cap it and push them
Ooh,
back.
Poppy and Leaf Box both being picked. Captain getting a pick on their supports here. What's really left is a Strange. There we go. Looks like the Nemours only one left near point. Can they get it? And get that pick.
I think there's no contesting, and that should go first round to the Fire Ants.
Awesome. First round. What do you have to say about this first round heading in? It was a very strong round overall for Sumter. Not a lot I personally noticed or have to say that's like burning, so you go ahead and lead what you noticed.
No, I would agree. I think they played it pretty cool and smooth. I mean, that one brawl fight that seemed like it took forever for anybody to go down. Nobody really used ultimates, and then the Fire Ants ended up winning that, which looked good. And then, Kutztown came back, and you expect to lose if somebody uses 4 ults on you, So the Fire Ants played it right where they needed it. They've got 2 ultimates going into this next round. Were able to retake the point once they came back without spending a lot of ults. I think they only spent the Gambit ult, and that was it. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, so far so good. I don't really have any complaints either.
Leafbox has been getting a lot of picks too here with Invisible Woman, getting a lot of kills with Poppy, almost acting like a DPS. It's been making me laugh because every single time I think, and Poppy's getting more and more picks, it's just Leafbox is just thrown in there too. So it's nice to see the DPS aspect of Invisible Woman as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen Poppy and Ume not really get picked off as much either, so that's good.
Yeah, 100%.
No positioning issues potentially there. A lot of times, Punisher could get caught out in kind of some tough spots sometimes, but
I could agree. Punisher also is out here coming, Poppy. Doing a lot of damage.
huge ult.
Huge ult here. Pretty much a full team wipe here from Poppy. Incredible job.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, Fire Ants right where they needed to be. They cap the point and start to play offense in aggressive mode. And, if anything looks like last time, then Kutztown will kind of take their ultimates once they get it and try to move on point. Maybe this time a little sooner rather than wait until 99 if they can help it. But Fire Ants still got plenty of ults in their sleeve too.
For sure. So I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
Speaking
I'll be
of,
interested to see how bands go next game, considering how this round is heading. They're keeping them not even anywhere near points. Oh, Sumter just picked up them from behind with the secure ult.
that's 3 down,
Ume
4
gets
down.
the pick.
Yeah, Ume's still battling.
Did Ume get the pick here? On Thor? Very close.
Very close, yeah. And Ume finally goes down, but I mean, you had to expect that. They did switch the advantage here, at least on point. faster than they did last time. Let's see what the Fire Ants do here. It looked like the Hella ult and the Thor ult came out on that last push and kind of wiped
Definitely did.
four Fire Ants off quickly, but we'll see how this goes. 2 ultimates coming out.
Strange out here. Ume goes down with it though from Hawkeye. Hawkeye's a very interesting pick. I don't really see him be played a ton, but very strong character. Captain's ulting here on point. A lot of ults from Sumter.
Yeah, they're gonna take it back here. That's their goal. They kind of committed to it. Didn't necessarily have to, but I guess with Luna down, they kind of assumed they had the advantage, and you got King Rexel
Yeah.
ready for the Gambit ult when needed. So interesting to see. Much tighter this second round.
100%. I think the hardest part is knowing when to stop ulting, because once one person starts, a lot of people kind of go in. Good pick here from Ume Tree.
Yeah, especially because Luna
Luna
just missed that ultimate on Thor.
Ooh, good Gambit ult here.
Oh yeah.
Looks like a smoking white there.
Team wipe basically. Thor's coming back, but
Got some
he's
ult
not
up
going to be there
too,
very
yeah.
long. He would have been better off kind of pulling back as soon as they went down. Because now they got to wait for him. I don't know if there's going to be enough time for them to even contest. Ultimate's coming out. They're going to prevent them from coming back. And there you go.
That ends map 1.
It does. In favor of the Fire Ants. 2-0. So it looks like we got some viewers in the chat. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you for sure. Again, if there's anything wrong with the stream, please let us know, and I will fix it as soon as I can. But
Poppy MVP here.
yeah, not surprised. He did very well. Was staying up in the fights pretty regularly. I know, like maybe early in the season, or maybe it was last season. You know, sometimes positioning with Punisher was tough. You know, he's got some evade, but not, you know, as easily as others. His evade's kind of like on cooldown if it gets used. But yeah, Poppy coming out very strong there. Ume Tree having a good round 2. Overall stats-wise, you could see, you know, pretty significantly into the Sumter's favor. But we'll be headed into map number 2 here pretty quick. But what do you see from map 1 that you would like to see or see differently in map 2?
It was really strong. Overall, I've been really enjoying the stray from Cloak and Dagger, and like a lot towards Gambit, whether that's due to like banning or things like that, or like having to sort of pivot after like picks and bans. We've seen a lot of really interesting swaps since this team started. Even last year, we've just seen so much improvement, and they've really grown from like how I've watched them as a team all the way down to this first round of playoffs. And so they were just playing so strong. And Poppy's Punisher was honestly completely nasty in that last round with the, I believe, what was it, like a 5k there. So it's really awesome to be able to see that and see them working together so well. I think some of the bans and picks are very interesting. I always think first round, it's kind of so off because not a lot of the teams know exactly what they want to do in ban. Like I think we saw Kutztown, I think saved tank Deadpool, but didn't end up really using it in the later halves of the game. So it'll be really interesting to see how they pivot from here. Maybe we'll see a Punisher ban go into this next round, or maybe they're going to go straight after our supports. But we'll see. So that's something to look out for in the next round.
For sure. I think
that'll become really big here.
Yeah, we could maybe see a captain ban. So it'll be interesting. I don't know if they're gonna let the Loki up, and I think that would be wise, probably. With the way we've used Loki in the past, they just don't like to see that, especially when we had Loki and Gambit that one time. It was just constant Gambit ults over and over and over again. But but that'll be pretty cool to see. So we'll have to see how this plays out for the Fire Ants just overall. But pick ban's coming in.
Ooh, Elsa Bloodstone ban. Straight out of the gate. Nothing too crazy so far. Elsa makes sense. I mean, Ume was really pushing it back with that ult of theirs. Couldn't even make it to the point. I'll be really interested to see what Kutztown saves here because I think some of the saves can be
Kutztown.
really important to how the game goes for sure. Cloak and Dagger save.
Yeah, the Cloak and Dagger was banned by the Fire Ants last time, so the save coming
Yeah.
in. Despite apparently, I heard some of the pre-picks ideas that they wanted to do. They scouted one of the players and said all he plays is Spider-Man, so they really focused on that Spider-Man being banned out. So I expect him to probably be gone for the whole matchup.
Oh, for sure. I think that's sort of what Rivals makes you do is that you cannot play one singular character. It's just not how this game works. So much of it changes constantly throughout the game. Swapping and changing is such a huge part of it that, you know, you really got to play and be very versatile here. And I think that's what Sumter does well. And I think that's why they're so successful. It's like they can pivot from pretty much any ban that they get here. Looks like we're getting an Invisible Woman ban.
Yeah, that is
Very
the
interesting
one
coming
thing
from
that
Sumter,
I really like from the Fire Ants. Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too. But the one thing that I really like about the Fire Ants is that they have so much flexibility. Not surprised by the Captain
100%.
America ban. Bet Loki gets played at some point here, maybe. But we'll see.
And it looks like they're going with White Fox. I've not had too much time to sort of dive into her as a new character, but I definitely think it's very interesting playing a character that's so new in playoffs. But they might have a lot of faith in it, and so I'll be really interested to see how that plays out for sure. But definitely not surprised by the Captain America ban at all.
No, and I'm not surprised to see Penny come out from Shiny, so that'll be good. We see oftentimes with payload that Shiny does switch to Penny. Good to set up different things for defense with her for sure. You know, in Poppy's Namor's pretty solid. Love to see maybe a Storm sometime tonight. That'll be fun. But
yeah, for sure.
Hella's always fun to see as well, and then Captain on that group.
Yeah, I think this is also such a hard map to hold here. This first sort of choke point, you can either get so caught up in there or get pushed back immediately. So hopefully Sumter can sort of hold this.
They caught that Groot out twice, but they weren't there to finish him. But backline needing a little bit of assistance here. It seemed like.
Cloak and Dagger here instead of the invis.
Yeah, once you can get one of these tanks down, it's pretty huge for either team. So Groot gonna work
See if
on
they
that.
can just pick on this Groot. They keep getting him very low, like you said. Can't seem to find just a little bit of extra damage to finish him off. There we go. The train seems to be low here.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping our Groot alive. Just missed
Definitely seems to be a stalemate
the
here.
ability to keep him. Yeah.
Ooh.
Good fight here early. Captain may ult as soon as he gets it. They're in a really good position to ult if he does get it.
100%.
It's going to be very interesting. I think it comes out right here. Maybe?
Oh, he's a little too low.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see after that strange shield goes down.
Yeah. Just a little low. Here comes the Gambit ult.
There we
Groot
go.
ult comes out. Multiple ults coming out from everybody.
Ooh.
That was
Once
a
you
little.
start ulting, it's kind of hard to stop.
Yeah, it was a little tough there.
Storm gets a 3K here. Can't seem to do it. Ume gets White Fox.
Yeah,
real
I
low.
wish-
We can't get that last bit of damage.
Yeah, I wish Captain would have been able to ult just a little bit sooner there. I think that could have been huge for the Fire Ants. But here we go. Back into the fight. Captain changes over to Strange. They're going to get this pick on
Punisher here.
Punisher quickly. Cloak and Dagger putting in a lot of
Pushing him
work.
back.
Strange going to go down quickly.
Good
Kind of put
cloak
himself
there.
in a tough spot.
I think Captain pushes up and gets that group down. Huge picks here. Moving back the payload. Minute 30 left on the clock. Very similar in terms of voltage here. Hopefully they can get some of the ults up before the next big team fight here from Sumter. The Punisher and Groot ult might be a terrible combo to go into.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Poppy will have something soon. They get the Groot though.
Get out of it. Trying to wait out that Punisher ult.
Yeah, working on it. Just a couple people did successfully get through it. Namor ult. Oh, unfortunately goes down.
Poppy goes down. Our lost captain gets 2 picks here. Maybe a Penny ultimate here is what I'd be thinking.
Yeah, and actually with those picks the captain was able to get. Backed them off.
The hardest part is that now that they're without Strange Portal because they used it to get back on point, so the last team fight's sort of the last team fight that they're gonna have here.
Yeah, here we go. 30 seconds to here on the clock. Byron's gonna be at an ultimate advantage for the next couple minutes.
Getting a good damage in. Nice pick here from Roommate Trade. Getting down the sword. The Punisher goes down.
Yeah, there goes that ultimate.
Huge
Kind of
ult.
figured that would come in.
Kent gets caught in the storm here. King Rex will not again. 2K here. They finish him off.
And that should be a good hold from the Fire Ants. It was a good fight.
Oh,
I mean,
coming out here.
fights back and forth were solid, but just a good hold overall from the Fire Ants.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that the portal, I was actually not expecting them to use it so soon, but I think it worked out for them in the end very, very well. Yeah, I have nothing too much to say. I definitely think Shiny, I'd make sense that he'll probably be switching here. Penny just didn't have, you know, the damage I think he really wanted to output. Especially not that great on defense as well. I mean, on attack, heading into the next round. I'll be interested to see what, sort of Kutztown changes up here. Because then again, like, they were doing a lot of pretty good damage output. They got some really strong picks. Hopefully they keep that Storm. Looks like they swapped off, but hopefully they keep that Storm because that's what was getting majority of the picks on our back line for Sumter. So
Yeah, I feel like
I think it'll give them a real run for their money if they keep it.
Yeah, I feel like once they got kind of off balance with their ultimate economy, they kind of weren't able to gain ground back there with Kutztown, and I think a few players maybe use their ults a little bit different. Like the one time the Strange kind of jumped in and ulted, he like missed most everybody and was picked off pretty quickly, and it just staggered their whole team. And you know, once you get really behind an ult economy, it can be very difficult to make plays, especially if you're the attacking team.
Alright, good push up here. I really like Groot on this map. I think you can get a really good shield sort of in there so you can push up the vehicle and take some space.
Had good walls there, but nobody really able to do the damage.
Ooh. A lot
One's
of damage
down.
coming out from Kutztown.
Yeah, and Shiny kind of in their face here.
Now you really pushing out.
Find this Groot.
Nice.
Yes, good plays.
Good pick.
That's the DPS down. Byron's can just kind of run it down now.
Some good stuff. Hopefully Captain can use those walls to sort of block them off and get them up to the main point here. To sort of walk it up is our goal. Portal's coming out.
Does come from behind. Let's see how quickly Byron's turn around on it. Looks like they do
You go
pretty
down.
quickly.
There you go down here.
And
When the
Strange in a
Strange goes
tough
down,
spot.
it'll be over.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Byron's almost there. Might not have any more contesting. I think that's it.
No, just straight through.
Final score 1-0.
1-0 from the Fire Ants here.
And solid play. Winning map number 2. Fire Ants lead the series 2-0. Don't really have much complaints to talk
Captain
about
MVP.
either.
No, for sure. I would definitely say it was a very strong matchup. I think that Storm was really, really strong. I'm very surprised they swapped off of it heading into the second round of that map. I think it could have paired very, very well with the Strange Ult if they could have gotten it up in time. So very interesting swap there. But overall, I think a great performance from the Fire. Obviously, Captain was killing it on Groot. Almost 30,000 damage blocked. Just an incredible show there. I have not too much to say. Do you have anything to really add to that? Just I think a really good teamwork there. They walked it straight up to the point in the second round on
I
that map.
agree. And I mean, it was easy to see, you know, or it was good to see, like we've said it all semester, that, excuse me, that they just have different comps that they can run. And I mean, every time you think that they might have something that they can't do, they find another comp to make that work. So,
Yeah.
just overall looking good for the Fire Ants, and we like what we see. And I mean, this next matchup, I don't know what to expect as far as what kind of bans they might have, the other team, but I'm excited to see, you know, maybe if we've got a little bit more of an open area or something, maybe we get to see Storm come in from in Poppy. You know, obviously I don't want them to force anything. They'll know what's best for their specific lineup, but we shall see what they bring ahead. So far, so good for the Fire Ants in this playoffs matchup.
Yeah, some very interesting map picks too here, I would definitely say. I completely forgot what the last map was called, but I don't really see it played all that often for esports, especially. It's not just a strong pick that I commonly see when I'm coaching. And Central Park, I think, is a great map. It'll be really interesting. I haven't seen this in quite a minute here from the Fire Ants playing on it, so it'll be really interesting to see. And I think, like you said, as we're heading into these picks and bans, that as like watching the team grow over a year, we went from each person maybe having one or two really strong characters to them being able to play a wide variety of things. And I remember when we first added Groot into a tank for Captain and Shiny, it was a little odd at first, but then they really got the hang of it and they really worked hard to practice that. And so it was a really great way, and it's just been great to watch them grow from here. But we're getting immediate Gambit ban.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprising at all. But
and I
it
mean,
does mean I think we're going to see an invis save. Yeah.
I would say, like you mentioned, Captain has grown a lot in his pool. You know, he was mainly the brawl type tanks and things of that nature.
100%, yeah.
Shiny was more of the Groot and above, and then once Captain, you know, worked with the other tanks to kind of learn those specific things, he was ready to go, and that frees up Shiny to play a lot of other different types. But also Captain can revert back to things like Captain America and stuff too. So going to be very, very interesting. That would be super interesting to see all the Deadpools in there, but don't know if that can even be a thing, can
Sumter.
that?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't think you can play them in every single role, right?
I've been sick for 2 weeks, so I have not played Rivals in that long, but unless something has changed in that amount of time, I do not believe so.
I don't think so.
But
that would be kind of crazy. But yeah.
I would love that. If that was a feature, I would love it. Let's see here. I definitely also agree, like, having Ume Tree here too, to be a DPS with Poppy has given both of them a lot of, like, growth and a lot of room to improve as well.
For sure.
Because they're having a lot more flexibility on DPS. And I think, honestly, they both become better players for it.
Well, and also when you have
support
just one, yeah, and when you
support.
have just one DPS, you know, it's easy for the other team to jump on that, kind of shut them down, and then that stalls you out. So, yeah, having two DPSs, that's a really good point. This season versus last season has changed a lot for the Fire Ants.
Definitely changed a lot in terms of metas too. Currently, a lot of 3 supports are really still meta. A lot of people really like going and using a 3 support setup. But I think we've just seen time and time again, all of the support players are so incredible for Sumter that they can just output so much healing. We saw it from the very first time they started all the way until now. They had enough healing to support 3 tanks, and they have enough healing to support more than the whole team now. So the supports, while I definitely say they're not getting, you know, 5Ks like in Poppy, or they're not pushing in like Captain, at the end of the day, they are still such a good part of this team. And I think Sumter's just grown to work very well with each other.
For sure. Again, this is one of my favorite teams just because they're on it. As far as teams, they play together a lot, they work together a lot, they talk through things. This is one of the best hands-off teams I've been able to have in you know, 10 plus years of esports, which is quite a while. So I do like what I see from this team overall. They've made me really happy this semester, seeing their growth and everything that they do.
Widow is a very interesting pick. I think they have a lot of liberality to try it. So I'll be interested to see if we get some picks here. Really taking on the high ground here, Sumter is. Especially with both them Poppy playing them more.
And
and
Poppy
with Widow.
showed Storm, but didn't go Storm yet.
Yeah, for sure. We got King Rexel and Loki, but I think it's very strong for this part of the map. We might see him switch off later on if this gets past the first chokehold. Ult's coming out.
Yeah, very, very soon.
Here in a second. We might see an ult here from Captain, especially because they're all so grouped up. It might be good to get some picks.
Rocket might have his before. I expect him to use it probably right away.
Might be
I'm
helpful to
surprised.
push up.
He's holding on to it.
Poppy gets a pick here.
Yeah, that was big. That pushed him back. Takes him out of the fight. Rocket does ult. I feel like it's kind of late, but we'll see.
Ooh, goes down pretty quickly.
And Groot
Huge ult here from
ulting.
Captain.
Huge.
Ooh. A lot of ults come out. They
Yeah,
don't
didn't
seem to
really
hit.
find anything, but at least baited out everybody else's ult. Fire Ants now lead the ult advantage significantly. We'll see Penny come out with hers, but Fire Ants got 3
Trying to
more in
keep
their
them
back
off that
pocket
point.
here.
Yeah, I think the really hardest part is, I mean, you know, Captain had him with the Groot ult, so they really had to be forced out of those ults, which is good
And-
for Sumter. They're going to get some picks here.
Yeah, and you'll probably see King Rexel take Invisible Woman's ultimate when needed for the heals, and yeah, huge from the Fire Ants there. Even though they didn't get any kills with the Groot ult, it was a big, huge ult, but it made them pop all of their ults just to stay alive, and then they ended up winning the fight anyway, so big from the Fire Ants.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, like I mentioned, I felt like that Rocket should have probably ulted right away when he got it last time, but he just didn't on Kutztown's side, and then ulted when they had a player down, you know, not knowing what Captain had. Captain didn't even have his ult yet. So
Yeah,
it could have been
I think
huge.
the hardest part. I think Gambit would have been a really strong pick here for them because it's a great support ult to push you into a point and get you there. And then you can always supplement with like an Invisible Woman ult. And that's why it works really well for Sumter because they have to rely on to fall back with. We're going to see an ult here.
Good
Star-Lord. He
turnaround.
goes down.
Yeah,
Magneto ult.
Fire Ants trying to work together here. Groot ulting.
We're going to see the finally by that Groot ult.
And Poppy ults.
147
Rexel.
rocket ult.
Oh, Rexel goes down.
Both supports are down here.
Yeah, it
And
might be
Shiny
tough
maybe
for the
getting
Fire Ants to
ult.
stay in here. Yeah,
Ooh, and they go down.
don't know if they can do any more contesting.
I mean, Ume could get on point, but I just don't think Widow is really that strong.
Here they go, they're jumping through.
There we go. Good ult here from Shiny. Really going after those supports. Double Invisible Woman ult here. Ooh, Emma Frost ult. Hopefully no.
Yeah, and Leafbox going over to the Strange there changed up the game pretty
Yeah,
significantly.
completely.
Captain
Oh,
coming in
baby,
with
stick 'em
Jeff. This is a crazy team fight right now.
down.
But I think they got it.
Yeah, incredible overtime. Jeff
Woo.
coming out at the very end.
That
Captain.
was wow. The changing, I mean, just there goes with the flexibility again though. Like, who died first? Okay, let's change. You know, Leafbox changing from what, Invisible Woman to Strange really quick, popping the portal, everybody getting
Yeah.
ready to go. They held it just in time. I think it was Ume was there to contest, and
Yeah,
they held it.
I think Rivals is amazing in the sense of, especially like watching Sumter play Rivals is so incredible because you would think that they had no chance with how little time they had left to get to the point and contest it, but yet they pulled through, just strange portaled and figured it out from there. So I think it's just an incredible play to watch just how quickly things can change in 10 seconds of the game, not even. So
Right.
yeah, great
And I'm sure
display from
Kutztown
Sumter.
thought that they had it right
30
there, you
seconds
know?
before
I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of thought they
Get
did,
ready.
but not the way the Fire Ants let it happen, and they come in and get the victory.
We got Jeff coming out here from King Rexel, so they're having a lot more flexibility with it. It's always nice to see,
For sure.
especially when you're in the second round. You're up, you know what I mean. You're on the third map.
4,
Always interesting to try some team comps in a real game as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how this works out.
I haven't seen Captain on on Hulk lately, so this will be interesting to see as well. Ume
This
on
seems
Black
to be going
Panther.
to the right.
Haven't seen him much on Black Panther either. Ooh, King Rex is going down early. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, they're just going off the map there. Couldn't seem to get around. Oh, everybody looks like he's about to head down here. They seem to get some picks.
Yeah, they do get a support and a DPS down, so let's see. They're not
Very
ones to back off from a comp right away if it doesn't work first time, and as you can see why, they're starting to make a little bit of headway here, but they do get 2 picks, so 2 players are
Hopper
back,
is a Kylo here.
but Ume
Ume
gonna
seems
take
to be a
one
good pick
down.
here.
That's big. Fire Ants maybe gonna be able to cap here.
3 minutes left on the clock.
So
They got
close.
time.
I think.
Strange portal.
Yup, there is a stop.
Captain
An invisible
gets the
woman
support,
goes
though.
down. No ults yet from either side. Captain just beating down the opponent's shiny as
Probably
well.
using Strange right here. Strange goes down. Invisible one, I'm sure, is soon to follow. Yeah, Invisible one is down here.
Trying to
Ooh,
see who
Magic
gets
takes
to
down
ult
Shiny.
first.
He only runs away a little bit.
Ooh,
Oh, but
falls
does not
off.
seem to get back up.
Unfortunate. Jeff gonna have ult before anybody else, but I think that's it.
Yeah, it's game over.
Oh no, Hulk had this ult.
1, 2, 0.
Fire Ants
3-0
win.
Sumter.
3-0.
Kutztown.
Whew. That was a really interesting match there. They went all out brawl in that last round and looked good from the Fire Ants. And GG's go out to Kutztown University, and Fire Ants now ready to go into the next round, but we don't have that tonight. That should be next week, and we will see our opponent. Let me actually see if we can pull this up. What do you think from what you saw tonight so far?
I think when you win 3-0, obviously there's a lot of strength that we're seeing from Sumter, you know what I mean? When games go a little bit longer, you see things on both sides and you can throw out some points and cons, but honestly, Sumter played incredibly well today. It's just every single time I see them, it's a team that keeps getting continuously better and better and better. And like, as you said, they're just an incredible team, incredible to watch. And I think you really see it. Like, they have a lot of fun within the game too. I think we saw it a lot in this like last team comp. They had the upper hand. They were on their last round. You know, they already had the upper hand, and so they played around a little bit with team comp. And I think that having a little bit of humor in esports as well is just an incredible thing. And even though the team comp was a lot towards the end, I think we saw still a lot of really great gameplay, even with like King Rexel and Jeff and all these crazy things, and Ume Tree falling off the map maybe one too many times, but still a really great performance overall. And I can't wait to see what the team goes on to do in the next playoff round for sure after this victory.
Definitely. So it looks like next week will be our next matchup. We don't know our opponent yet, but it'll be either Texas A&M or Gustavus University, and I think we played both teams. Well, we played one of the Texas A&M teams. There's actually 2 in this bracket, and then
Oh, awesome.
Gustavus, I think we played them this season. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see who plays there. I think actually we lost a round maybe to Gustavus before,
we did.
so
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a good matchup if we see Gustavus. Let me see, trying to look back at some of our previous matches. And yes, we
Mm-hmm.
actually beat Gustavus 3-1. So Gustavus a team to look out for in this
Mm-hmm.
bracket and could be our next opponent unless Texas A&M takes them down. So we will see that soon. Outside of that, that's it for tonight. We don't have any more matches. A little bit of a lighter plate this week, even though we've started playoffs for some teams. Not all teams are in playoffs yet. So we'll have pretty much all teams in playoffs next week. But let me see what else we have this week. I don't think we have anything tomorrow or Wednesday. I think Thursday, though, we'll have Valorant in action in their PCL playoffs. And then on Friday, we start CCL playoffs. So we will see Call of Duty in action in CCL. That's going to be a weekend long playoff if they continue to win. So they've got to come in and win, and keep going no matter what, so that they can get to Sunday. But we'll see how that all shakes out. So should see us back on stream Thursday and Friday, and then maybe over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday too. But Izzy, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you.
So thank you for
Um,
having me. So I was a little late, guys, but this was a great game to watch and to see.
no problem, and hopefully we'll get you back in next week. But should be same time, same location. Fire Ants going up against somebody, either Texas A&M or Gustavus University. We'll see how that bracket plays out. But yeah, thanks for being here, and thanks for everybody that watched. Looks like we had a dozen or so people here watching. Thank you for being here. Make sure you follow if you haven't. Hit us with a cool subscribe if you got that. And if not, we're just glad that you're here for the support. Couldn't do it without you. And the players love your support as well. So thanks again, everybody. This is Coach Chris signing out from the Ant Hill.
This is Izzy.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.